And one, and I call this April 6, 2021 virtual administrative meeting of the Bernalillo County Commissioners to order. We will have a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by our County Attorney, Ken Martinez.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, independent and indivisible, for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. And Madam County Manager, are there any changes or additions to the agenda?
Madam Chair, Commissioners, yes, there's one. And so it's item 3A, César Chávez Day proclamation to be added to the agenda as item 4B as in boy under proclamation. And a vote is required for that change, Madam Chair.
Oh, okay. Well, I will, Commissioner Casada will move to make that change from 3A to 4B. I'll second that. All in favor, raise your hand. And Madam Clerk, Commissioner Barboa, come back to the camera. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
We'll come back to her. Oh, there she is, Commissioner Barboa. Commissioner Benson.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Malley.
Aye.
Vice Chair Casada.
Aye.
Madam Chair Piscotti.
Aye.
So
thank you. That passes unanimously. So we will head right into proclamations. The first one, Commissioner Benson will present on National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. Commissioner Benson.
Yes. Just a minute. Actually, I apologize, Madam Chair. Can you come back to me on that?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I apologize, Madam Chair. Can you come back to me on that?
Oh, okay. Okay. So Vice Chair Casada, would you like to go ahead and present on César Chávez Day?
Sure. Thank you, Madam Chair, fellow commissioners. It is a great honor for me today to read this next proclamation. And then after I read it, we have a couple of guests. We have Linda Benavides and Valerie St. John, who will also like to speak after that, if that's okay, Madam Chair. And the Bernalillo County Board of Commissioners, and this is sponsored by all the county commissioners, Debbie O'Malley, Stephen Michael Casada, Adrian Barboa, Walt Benson, and Charlene E. Piscotti. Whereas César Estrada Chávez was born on March 31st, 1927, near Yuma, Arizona, and became one of the most influential Latino American activists of civil and workers' rights in our nation's history, bringing justice to tens of thousands of farm workers. And whereas farm workers at the time were subject to inhumane treatment, working in hazardous, toxic, and unhealthy conditions without toilets or drinking water, exploited through low wages, and excluded from union representation. And whereas César Chávez dedicated himself to the cause of justice and representation for farm workers, co-founding the National Farm Workers Association Union in 1962, directing the Community Service Organization and leading historic boycotts, marches, and strikes throughout the nation, immortalizing the movement through the slogan, "Sí se puede," yes, we can. And whereas his guidance and courage has served as an inspiration for social justice across the country, posthumously earning César Chávez the Presidential Medal of Freedom and seeing countless streets, parks, and schools named after him. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Bernalillo County Board of Commissioners does hereby honor and recognize March 31st, 2021 as César Chávez Day, and encourages all Bernalillo County residents to serve the community in his name and live by his vision for social, economic, environmental justice through non-violence. Done this 6th day of April 2021 in Bernalillo County, the state of New Mexico, all 5 Bernalillo County commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Casada. And so who among your guests would like to speak first?
Ms. Benavides.
Hi, my name is Linda Garcia Benavides, and thank you very much for inviting us and for giving this proclamation to César Chávez. It's myself and Valerie St. John. We're the co-chairs for the Required César Chávez Committee. And this will be our 28th annual celebration, not only of the legacy of César Chávez and history, but also legacy and history of Dolores Huerta. And so Dolores Huerta plays a very, very big part in this because, of course, she's still alive. And what happened last year, as you know, with COVID, we usually have an outdoor march and fiesta to celebrate what they have worked so hard for their passion, for the fight for social justice, for farm workers, et cetera. Last year, because of COVID, we did a virtual celebration. And again, this year we did too. So we started it on March 31st, which is César Chávez's birthday, and we're ending it this Saturday, April 10th, which is Dolores Huerta's birthday. And so hopefully you can join us to see on our Facebook, Recuerda César Chávez, you will see what we go through to celebrate the legacy history of César Chávez and Dolores Huerta. So getting this proclamation is a very, very important thing for us. We are very passionate about what we do and what we work. We work very hard to make sure that everyone is involved and that we give exposure to what they were so passionate about and working for these social justices. So what I'd like to do for next year is maybe we can add Dolores Huerta to the César Chávez Day, since we do combine the two of them and she comes out and celebrates with us. And I'm sure you all know Dolores as Si Se Puede. And to give you a fun fact, Valerie St. John and I are related to Dolores Huerta. So the passion that we have for this committee, we work so hard to make sure that we include everybody in the community. And thank you, Mr. Casada, for helping us with what you do with the day's service, which is what we do with Sanchez Farms there in the county, helping us with so many things. We want to thank you very much for giving us this proclamation. We are going to include that with a little clip from Mr. Casada into our virtual campaign, which will be shown on Saturday. So I will make sure that you see it. So again, thank you for letting me talk briefly about this, for giving us this award, for knowing how passionate we are and knowing that you guys are as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Benavides. And Valerie St. John, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, I would like to thank you for this proclamation. It's hard to believe that in America, there was such a time when such simple things such as clean water, clean drinking water, basic sanitary facilities, a fair wage for a fair day's work, protection against exposure to pesticides and agricultural chemicals weren't available to those hard at work bringing food to the American dinner table. Thanks to the tireless effort of César Chávez and my cousin Dolores Huerta, these workers' protections are now in place. Let us not forget what they have achieved. César Chávez Day is a tribute to his commitment to social justice and keep César Chávez legacy and work alive. Once again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
If I could say one more thing very quickly.
Sure.
One thing that I wanted to mention is we give out what you call the Si Se Puede Awards as part of the Recuerda César Chávez Committee. We actually go out for nominations for anyone around the state. And these two awards are broken up as César Chávez and Dolores Huerta. And what they are honoring is people that actually honor what César Chávez and Dolores Huerta have been doing all their lives. So on Saturday, we'll be announcing one of the winners was Ismael Camacho. And he was very involved, farm worker, has been doing this for 40 some years and is still doing it to this day. So we're very honored to give that to him. And the other two people that got the Dolores Huerta Award is Dr. Salas and Laura Kiefer. And I don't know if you've heard of them briefly, but they embody all that you've described in this proclamation. And they actually go out and have been working very hard to make sure that people such as the farm workers, anybody that needs them, have the masks, have set up vaccination clinics, and I'm working out there, especially up north and down south. So if you get a chance, get onto our website and look at what we've been doing for this past week, and especially on Saturday, so you can see how we thank everyone that's helped us, especially the county. So thank you very much.
So,
Thank
Madam
you.
Chair, in closing, I'm so glad they brought up Dolores Huerta and, and our great, leaders, our female leaders that we need to do more about celebrating the women that have really paved the way for all of us. To have leaders for my three daughters to look up to is very important to me. And it's very evident that we're moving in the right direction. Even just looking at this screen in front of me, all these great women who are leaders in our community on this meeting because they believe. And so, with a lot of passion, I'm very thankful for them celebrating not only César Chávez, but Dolores Huerta. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank
Si
you,
se puede.
Commissioner
Thank
Sada. And speaking of women leaders, I see Commissioner Barboa has her hand up. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Commissioner Quesada, for bringing this important proclamation, and Ms. Benavides and Ms. St. John as well. I've been so honored and blessed to work alongside Dolores Huerta a couple of times. Totally fan struck. But I can tell you that growing up, was so important to me to learn about Chicanos leading a movement. And then it wasn't mentioned, but Dolores Huerta is from New Mexico. So my excitement as a young person to see that a Nuevo Mexicana like me could be leading such a strong and powerful and impactful movement was beautiful. And so thank you for honoring their legacy, and just proud and excited.
Ms. Benavides.
And one more time, I have to tell you, you guys have done a lot in regards for the Dolores Huerta. So don't forget, we have the Dolores Huerta Park that's there. That is such a great honor. And also the change of the Avenida, Bridge Street to Avenida Dolores Huerta. And, we are the only two that intersect with Avenida Dolores Huerta César Chávez. And then to continue from there, and Mr. Quesada was involved with us in regards to doing this dedication on behalf of the county. So again, we thank you for all that you're doing, and we'll include Dolores next year when we do this proclamation. Thank you once again.
Great, thank you so much. And so Commissioner Benson, National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for your patience. The Bernalillo County Board of Commissioners does hereby acknowledge National Public Safety Telecommunications Week, April 11th through the 17th of 2021. Emergency communications is the vital link between the community and fire and rescue, police officers and emergency medical services, ensuring the quick response of emergency personnel to protect the public, and ensuring emergency personnel receive continuing and correct information to maintain their safety. Effective communications with the public has remained even more critical now during the COVID-19 pandemic. Started by the Contra Costa County Sheriff's Office in California in 1981, National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week is celebrated during the week of April to honor public safety telecommunications personnel nationwide. The Bernalillo County Emergency Communications Department and its 911 dispatchers exhibit compassion, understanding, and professionalism in each interaction with the public, leading to the apprehensions of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. During these trying times, the safety of our emergency responders is especially dependent upon the accuracy of information obtained from calls to our emergency communicators to protect law enforcement officers, firefighters, and paramedics responding to possible encounters with people positive for COVID-19. The Board of County Commissioners thus acknowledges April 11th through the 17th of 2021 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week and extends gratitude on behalf of the community for the dedication of the Bernalillo County Emergency Communications Department staff. Thank you.
Thank you. And do you have anyone here who'd like to speak to that? Lee Thompson. We can't hear you, unfortunately.
I can cover
Nope.
for him if need be, Madam Chair.
I'm sorry?
I can cover for him if need be.
Oh, okay. I didn't see who was talking. Yeah, why don't you do that? I think it's the computer problem that we've all been having with the microphone. So please go ahead, Chief Parrott.
So Madam Chair, Commissioners, thank you so much for taking the time to recognize what I feel are some of the most critical key players in the 911 system. Our dispatchers are those unsung heroes who are the first ones who come in contact with someone in their time of need and are able to work through the typical or the tragedy or whatever event may be occurring in order to paint a better picture for all of the crews that are coming into that scene, be it law enforcement or fire and rescue, or now even animal care that we've seen a lot in the most recent occurrences. So again, it's a group of people that possess a skill that not all of us will ever understand, nor will we be able to possess. And we are so grateful for everything that our dispatchers do for us daily and the direction that our 911 dispatch director, Lee Thompson, provides daily. So thank you all.
Thank you. And I agree. It's an important job, and it's the first contact that people have when they are having an emergency. So it takes a very special person to handle those calls in a quick and accurate way. So thank you. And so thank you, Lee Thompson. I'm sorry we didn't get to hear from you, but it's good to see you here. Okay, so moving on then. To public comment. Julianne, how many do we have signed up to speak this evening for public comment?
Madam Clerk, we have nobody signed up this evening.
Okay. Then we shall move on to, did we get any written comments this time?
We did not.
Okay, thank you. So we will move on to approval of the minutes. I will move to approve the March 23rd, 2021 administrative meeting minutes. Do I have a second?
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner Barboa. And all in favor, wave your hand. Thank you. And right, I thought we were going to have a problem with Commissioner Benson, but go ahead, Madam Clerk, and make it official. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Barboa,
Yes.
Commissioner Benson,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley.
Yes.
Thank you. Vice Chair Casada,
Yes.
Madam Chair Piscotti.
Aye.
So called.
Thank you. And now hang in there, Madam Clerk. We've got roll call coming up again. Madam, please provide the resolution numbers for items 7E, 7F, and 7G on the consent agenda, please.
Yes, ma'am. 7E. Uh-oh, I got the wrong one. Hold on.
We'll wait for you. We want to make
Yes,
sure we
don't
get it
go
right
anywhere.
first time.
I can fix that. Hold on. Seven E is FR 2021-35. 7F is, am I doing that right? AR 2021-36. G is AR 2021-37.
Okay, thank you. So I will move to approve the consent agenda. Do I have a second? Commissioner Casada, thank you. All in favor, raise your hand. Thank you. And Madam Clerk, please call the roll on that.
Commissioner Barboa,
Yes.
Commissioner Benson,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley, Vice Chair Casada,
Aye.
Madam Chair Piscotti.
Aye. So the consent agenda passes unanimously. And now on to adoption of resolution. Madam Clerk, please issue resolution numbers for the following items. 8A 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yes, ma'am. 8A1 is FR 2021-38. Number 2 is FR 2021-39. 3 is FR 2021-40. And 4 is AR 2021-41.
Okay, let's keep it moving and go ahead with item 8B, 8C, 8D.
Okey doke. B is FR 2021-42. C is
And
FR 20. I'm sorry?
Is that, I just want to make sure because we switched from an AR to an FR.
FR. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
They're all sequential.
okay,
And ARs
okay.
are in the same. Yeah.
Okay,
They all
great.
run
I
together.
want to
They're
make
all
sure
resolutions.
get it right the first time. Okay. Proceed, Madam Clerk.
Okay, number C is FR 2021-43. You want to go down to finance?
Might as well just knock them all out.
Okay. Finance, number 2 is FR 2021-45. 4 is AR 2021-46.
Did we miss a 44 in there?
That is C. You got B, C finance, Bernalillo County. It's for proceeds amount of, is that 29,229? That's 44.
Okay, I thought you said 43 before. Okay.
42. Oh, you know what? It is 43. Thank you. You caught me. So
Okay.
finance number 3 is 44. FR 2021-44. Finance number 4 is AR 2021-45. Very good, Commissioner. Thank you. Keep me
Okay.
honest.
Thank you for keeping me on my toes here. Okay, so let's go back then to 8A, budget, FY22 budget approval. And Shirley Reagan, fresh off the set from the Jimmy Kimmel show, is here to present on that item.
Oh, that's cute.
Actually, Madam Chair, I'm going to have Pam Moon, our Accounting and Budget Director, present.
Excellent. Go ahead, Pam Moon.
Okay, good evening, Madam Chair and Commissioners. I'm Pamela Moon, Director of Accounting and Budget. And I just wanted to mention that we've gone through a long process in updating and developing the fiscal year 22 budget. The fiscal year 22 budget public hearing was held on March 30th, 2021. The resolutions presented for the board's approval addresses recurring revenues, operating expenditures, debt service, reserve requirements, and cash transfers. This budget presents a balanced and comprehensive view of the county's funding requirements while maintaining a DFA 25% revenue requirement and the county 5% revenue and stabilization reserve. And then we get into the 7 motions, and I sometimes commissioners like to go through them one at a time, and sometimes you'd like us to go through them all. Is there a preference tonight for the commissioners?
I think I would like to just hear them as a group, not going through each one separately. If anybody has an objection, please state it.
Okay.
Okay, so just go
So-
ahead and summarize
okay.
as a group then.
Okay, so the first one is a motion. Motion 1 establishes the expenditure budget of $353,457,231 for fiscal year 22. And if anyone wants details, it's in attachment A. Motion 2 establishes the non-general fund budget of $198,268,560 for fiscal year 22, and that's also an attachment A as far as details going. Motion 3 establishes the Bernalillo County carry forward budget for multi-year projects in the amount of $166,799,271 for fiscal year 22, and that's detailed in attachment B. There also is a motion 4 for support of grants and projects that are listed in the county in attachment C, and they're coming from various sources, documenting receipt of federal and state funding. Motion 5 is approving 20 full-time new positions, and that's detailed in attachment D. And then there's motion 6 that allows us to proceed with the contracts listed and approves those contracts so we don't have to come back with you for each individual contract. And then motion 7 says that if there's a grant and we receive it, we can seek reimbursement from the general fund for any project or initiative funded that subsequently receives funding. So I stand for any questions.
Are there any questions? Seeing none. First, I'd just like to say thank you, Pamela Moon, Shirley Reagan, this entire finance team. You do such a great job every year. And I also want to say that I enjoyed the budget hearings. I think that was last week. I think that people can watch that if they missed it in person. It's on our YouTube channel. It was a really interesting meeting, and people should know what's going on in their county government. It was really good. The attachments that you named, Pam, are in the agenda packet for this meeting. I'm guessing there's probably maybe also somewhere on our bernco.gov website where people can find the numbers. But I appreciate that everything is just very transparent, and I'm sure that if people have questions, I'm sure that you would be happy to answer any questions that people would, email in. So I appreciate the county's transparency and accountability on all the budget items.
Thank you so much. And I did want to just give thanks and a shout out to all the tremendous budget staff for all their work. Jennifer Gallegos leads the team and has done a great job with that. And it's just, a testament to what we see in the transparency. So thanks to them.
Yeah, yes. Thanks to the entire team. And so since you did such a great job of reading off all those items with all those numbers, I think we can just go ahead and approve this item without having to read through and approve each one separately. Is that cool, County Attorney Ken Martinez?
Yeah, I think it's been adequately expressed. Thank you very much, madam.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I will move to approve the FY22 budget, item 8A in its entirety. Do I have a second? Come on, you guys, you're killing me, man. I saw Commissioner Barboa had her hand up first, so she seconded that. So everyone in favor, wave your hand. Thank you. That looks like it passed unanimously. Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Madam Clerk, please.
You're on mute.
I'm sorry.
You're on mute, Madam Clerk.
Oh, no, I'm not.
No,
Uh-oh.
Madam Clerk is on mute.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I am, sorry. Okay, Commissioner Barboa,
Yes.
Commissioner Benson, Commissioner O'Malley,
Yes.
Vice Chair Casada,
Aye.
Chairwoman Piscotti.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. That passes unanimously. And now back to item 8B, again, finance. Bernalillo County, New Mexico General Obligation Bond, Series 2021A. And Shirley, will you be presenting this time?
Yes.
Excellent.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Shirley Reagan, Deputy County Manager for Finance. On February 23rd, 2021, the board adopted the bond ordinance 2021-4, authorizing the issuance and sale of the Bernalillo County, New Mexico General Obligation Refunding Bonds of Series 2021A. The board also delegated the authority to the county manager and the deputy county manager for finance to accept one or more binding bids, select the purchasers, and to determine the final terms of the bond, subject to the parameters and conditions contained in the bond ordinance. The bond sale was held on March 17th, 2021 on the Grant Street auction website via a competitive sales process. The best bidder for the GO Series 2021A was Robert Beard. Due to the county's AAA credit rating and favorable market conditions, the county was able to take advantage of lower interest rates. The county's best bid resulted in a true interest cost of 1.0534%. The attached sales certificate provides the terms and conditions of the GO Series 2021A and certifies that the final terms of the bonds comply with the parameters and conditions established in the bond ordinance pursuant to the Supplemental Public Securities Act. I'd like to take this time also to acknowledge our finance team for the county, and they're on the call if you should have any questions. It's Eric Harrigan, Municipal Advisor from RBC Capital, Parker Schinken, Bond Counsel from Sherman and Howard, Chris Murhead, our Disclosure Counsel from Module Sperling. Did you want me to read the second agenda, which is the new money for the bonds, or do you want to just vote on this one first?
I think, why don't we just vote on this one first? And I just want to ask a question, Shirley, or one of the other people who have been involved in this. The county got a very high rating on the bonds. So what are some of the factors that go in there? What's the county doing right that people looked at this and said, wow, we're going to give the county a really high bond rating?
I'll let Eric answer that.
Go ahead, Eric.
Great. Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chair and Commissioners. Eric Harrigan with RBC Capital Markets. So there's a number of factors that go into the county's bond rating. One is the county's tax base. It's a very large, diversified tax base, but also the financial management of the county. The county has done a tremendous job of being able to manage its finances. And it's shown that even through the pandemic, it has been a bellwether of consistency of being able to manage through such a historic and unprecedented impact that the pandemic had. And so for all three rating agencies to not only maintain those ratings, but also provide a stable outlook, I think is a tremendous note to the county and how it's being managed in the finances of the county. So congratulations to the county to be able to maintain those AAA ratings.
Thank you. Thank you for explaining that and showing that, there's several different variables, and it's really the work that the people in the county do day in and day out, I think, to keep these, the ratings high. So I just wanted to make sure that that was called out. So thank you. Are there any questions? Would anybody like to move to approve this item? Commissioner Casada, thank you. Is there a second? Thank you, Commissioner Benson. All in favor? Wave your hand. Thank you. And Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Barboa,
Yes.
Commissioner Benson, Commissioner O'Malley,
Yes.
Vice Chair Casada,
Aye.
Madam Chair Piscotti.
Aye.
So called.
Thank you. And now Shirley, please go on to the next item, Bernalillo County, New Mexico General Obligation Bond Series 2021. What's this item about?
Madam Chair, if I could just step back to the other one, I forgot to point out that this was a refinancing of a 2012 series. And so we dropped the interest rate and we also lowered the payback period. So that was really good for the county. So we pay it back quicker and got a lower interest rate and also received a premium on that. So the next one is, this is the one that everybody's gonna like. Our Parks and Rec folks, our Public Works folks, they're gonna be ready, chomping at the bit to spend the money. So again, on February 23rd, the board adopted bond ordinance 2021-5, authorizing the issuance of Bernalillo County, New Mexico General Obligation Bonds, Series 2021. This series is for the new money coming out of the 2020 bond election. And we were able to get, again, the best bidder was Robert Beard. The interest rate was 1.4134%. And we also had a premium on the bonds of almost $2 million. So we're bringing in $29 million. The base bond amount was $27,355,000. And we're bringing in $29,229,414.75 to the county. We'll be able to cover all of the issuance costs and put money in our debt service fund and fund all of our projects at 100%. The motion to approve financial resolution FR 2021-43, accepting and budgeting of the funds from the Bernalillo County, New Mexico General Obligation Bond Series 2021 sale in the net proceeds amount of $29,229,414.75. I stand for any questions.
Are there any questions? I've seeing no questions. I will move to approve. Is there a second? Okay, you dawdlers. It looked like Commissioners Casada and Benson were right there at the
Commissioner O'Malley.
so what's that?
Commissioner O'Malley beat us.
Did she? Oh my God, I see her down at the bottom of the screen. I'm sorry. So we'll call it then. Commissioner O'Malley seconded. So all in favor, wave your hand. Thank you. And Madam Clerk, please call that roll.
Commissioner Barboa, Commissioner Benson,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Malley,
Yes.
Vice Chair Casada,
Aye.
Madam Chair Piscotti.
Aye. That passes unanimously. Good job. So now on to item D, finance. The City of Albuquerque Gateway Center Homeless Facility. I know Commissioner Barboa wanted to lead us off on this one, and then I think we'll hear from Shirley Reagan. So go ahead, Commissioner Barboa.
Yes, thank you. I'm really excited to be part of this and this to be one of the first things I get to sponsor as a commissioner. I shared today, folks maybe know, or I've worked a lot in or around the folks that are facing homelessness or being unsheltered. I've gone to work with youth in this population. But it's also near and dear to my heart because of the services that will be provided for to ease the dis-ease of substance use and those living without shelter. And I shared a story this morning of my own uncle who suffered from alcohol addiction and did find himself on the street. And we were looking for him, and my mom finally found him, her brother. She found him and she brought him in. And of course, there was a waiting list on any available program. And she brought him in and she fed him and loved him and showed him, reminded him of his value. And yeah, it took a couple of months, but he was able to get back on his own 2 feet. My uncle, who helped raise me and was a strong man and had, I'm really proud to have been raised by. And so I just think of that this resource center that is going to be here placed in my district is that it's this loving, nurturing resource for some of our most vulnerable communities. And I'm proud to sponsor it today. And I'll hand it off to, I believe, County Manager Baca to present this, but I just wanted to share that I'm proud of that. I think this is going to be a great benefit for our community. That actually, I encourage our folks and folks watching to not live in that fear that this is somehow going to harm our communities. I really honestly believe this is going to increase our public safety, health, and well-being in our neighborhoods. So I live very close to the new center, and I'm proud for it to be here. Thank you. Take it away, County Manager Baca.
Thank you. And I just want to jump in and say, Commissioner Barboa, you did great at the press conference this morning, along with County Manager Julie Morgus Baca. I think that people, if they want to see that, they can. I saw it on KRQE on their website. So there's places to watch the press conference about the Gateway Center. So thank you. And Julie, did you want to take it away from here?
Thank you, Madam Chair and Commissioners. And so I just do want to say Commissioner Barboa really did us proud today. So she made it real, and just talking about her personal experiences, it just made all the sense of the world as to why we're doing this, why the city is doing this. So getting back to the agenda item, you all graciously voted to go ahead and allocate $1 million of our general obligation bond to the homeless facility. And so what this does is, actually, we hadn't sold the bonds yet, and we're wanting to get the money to the city as soon as possible. So what we're doing is we're borrowing the money from the general fund, and then in turn we will be reimbursing the general fund with the general obligation bond funds when we receive them. So that's basically in a nutshell what it is. And it was just, and I did say that, the commission and the county, we're very proud, and we're very happy to contribute in this way. And we'll be contributing more as time goes on, but we just need to find out what the plan is for the city, and we'll move along accordingly. So thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And so this money is, you're borrowing from the general fund, and it's going to be paid off from the bond question for public housing, right? That people voted on in November. So that was what the community voted for in November. And so we're going to be using those funds to help with the Gateway Center. Is that accurate?
That's correct, Madam Chair. We failed to get the bonds sold in this last bond sale. So we're doing the reimbursement resolution, as County Manager Julie stated. And then when we sell in early 2022, we'll reimburse the general fund.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Are there any questions or comments on that? Is there a motion to approve?
Move.
Commissioner Barboa moves to approve. I'll just say Commissioner Benson seconded that. So all in favor? There we go. And Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Barboa.
Aye.
Commissioner Benson.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Malley.
Aye.
Vice Chair Quesada.
Aye.
Madam Chair Piscotti.
Aye.
So called.
Okay, thank you. And so let's see. Moving on to approvals, fleet and facilities management, Alvarado Square renovation plus Commission Chambers building approval of change order number 7, Lisa Manuel to present.
Thanks, Madam Chair, Commissioners. I'm Lisa Manuel, Director of Fleet and Facilities Management. This item requests the Commission authorize the County Manager to approve and execute change order number 7 for the design build project Alvarado Square renovation and Commission Chambers building to HB Construction in the amount of $721,403 plus gross receipts tax. In January of 2021, the Commission approved the FY20 interest allocation financial resolution, where the gross receipts tax revenue bond interest accrued was $581,000. Management then requested that staff identify potential uses for this funding and expressed a desire to move additional employees from Public Works at 2400 Broadway to the Alvarado Square building by building out one of the shell spaces on the 7th floor. And the 7th floor shell spaces were identified very early in the project as areas for future growth whenever funding became available. This change order request is for the build out of approximately 4,300 square feet of shell space. The contractor has agreed to honor their 2019 prices at $166 a square foot, which includes design services, construction, and furniture. The build out will be mostly funded by the bond interest, the $581,000 that I mentioned earlier, and the remaining costs will be paid out of the internal funding that was approved by the County Commission in January of 2020. If approved, the additional 7th floor work will have a substantial completion date of July 30th, 2021, and will not have any impact on the occupancy of the rest of the building. And with that, I stand for questions.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay. Is there a motion to approve the change order? Commissioner Benson, thank you. Commissioner Casada, that looked like a second to me. So, right. So all in favor, please wave your hand. Thank you. And Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Barboa,
Aye.
Commissioner Benson,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Malley,
Aye.
Vice Chair Casada,
Aye.
Madam Chair Piscotti.
Aye.
Okay.
So that, thank you, that passes unanimously. Last but not least, technical services, Sunport Extension Project Community Workforce Agreement, and Elias or Brian Lopez to present.
Madam Chairwoman, I'm Elias Archuleta, Deputy County Manager for Public Works, and I'll be presenting these items. Technical Services Director Brian Lopez will be available for questions if necessary. Madam Chairman, Commissioners, our members of the Commission, the item in front of you is a request to waive the use of the approved community workforce agreement on the Sunport Boulevard Extension Project. The Sunport Boulevard Extension Project is the final phase of a 3-phase program that was extending Sunport Boulevard between Broadway Boulevard and I-25. This phase will construct the new road between I-25 and Broadway, and the current budget stands just around $25 million. Therefore, based on the community workforce ordinance passed in October of 2020, because the project exceeds $7 million and there are at least 3 trades that would be involved with the construction of this work, the project is subject to the inclusion of a community workforce agreement. As we discussed at our last meeting, the county is just recently the board recently gave the county manager approval to sign a community workforce agreement. However, because we are utilizing just over $18.8 million in federal funding on this project, we must get Federal Highways approval to utilize a community workforce agreement, or the term that they use on the federal level are project labor agreements. These agreements are allowed based under an executive order that was passed during the Obama administration. But due to lack of interest from the states, the Federal Highway Administration has not promulgated any rules or guidance for the use of these agreements on their projects. Upon our request a couple of months ago that was submitted to the Federal Highway Administration through DOT, we were made aware that we are one of 5 states that are currently asking for this type of approval. So Federal Highways has agreed to allow us to participate in their process for establishing these rules and guidance. But that process is expected to take at least 6 months and may take up to 9 months to complete. So with regard to the Sunport project, we need to bid this project in the next couple of months to meet our funding deadline, which is to start spending money no later than August of 2021, since those funds were authorized for use in September of 2020. So what we're asking today is that you waive the use of the community workforce agreement on Sunport extension so we don't jeopardize the $18.8 million in federal funding. But what this, with us participating in the federal process for establishing these rules, this does allow, this will allow us to utilize community workforce agreements on the Bridge Phase 2 project, which we're expecting to bid in the upcoming year, and also on the 2nd Street and Rio Bravo intersection project, as well as the Rio Bravo widening from Broadway to 2nd Street projects. These are 3 major projects that we will be doing over the next 2 years. And by us participating in the process with Federal Highway Administration, that will guarantee our ability to utilize these workforce agreements on those upcoming federal projects. And with that, I stand for questions.
Commissioner Casada.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I just want to be clear that, you know, the unions are aware of us having to spend this money and get this money allocated quickly. And so they did express the fact that they didn't want that to slow down or hurt the project in any way. And so we do have support on this particular project to move forward. And as Mr. Archuleta just said, you know, we have 2 more really major projects that will fall under you know, the workforce agreement, and you know, there's no backing out of those anymore. And so we're moving forward on the federal level to make sure that all our ducks are in a row, and that from here on out, that, you know, the approval of the workforce agreement will apply to anything over 7 million. It's just a matter that if we have to bid this right away, we have to get the money out and allocate the funds, or we'll lose the project. And as you know, the project's very important to me on how we redevelop the South Valley and what kind of industry goes into the South Valley. And so that's why, you know, it's kind of crucial that we move forward. So with that, Madam Chair, I move for approval.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Yeah, Commissioner O'Malley.
Thank you. And I want to thank Elias and also our attorney, Kim Martinez. And I know that they had some others involved in actually, it looks like we have a seat at the table on the federal level, which is great. And I think it's because we've been very forward thinking. I think we're one of the first well, certainly the only county, I think, in the state of Mexico that moved to approve CWA. And I think we're one of the very few in the country to do this. But I'm glad to see that things are moving forward. And as Commissioner Quesada said, you know, our team did reach out to those who were affected by this, and we still, my understanding is they still have to pay, I guess, Davis-Bacon wages. Is that true? And so there's going to be some equity there in terms of pay, but of course it's not to the level that we think is important for the working people that are working. and then construction. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Barbeau, I saw your hand up next.
Clarify for myself. Thank you, Madam Chair and Madam Commissioners and Mr. Archuleta. I didn't quite understand the reason why we missed this time.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Barboa, the funding for this project was actually approved back in September of 2020, and that's basically at the end of that federal fiscal year. We had a deferral on spending because we were acquiring the last of the property needed through condemnation, through the condemnation process. But with the federal funds, they require action on any obligation within 12 months of that approval. And so that is what establishes our August, basically the end of August as our deadline to actually submit a request for reimbursement on our, like, for this would be our first construction, our first months of construction costs. So to meet that timeline, we have to be bidding this project here by the end of April so that we can award the contract, get them mobilized, and have them do at least 1 month's worth of work by the end of September, or by the end of August, I'm sorry.
Okay, thanks for that clarity. That's all, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Benson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just had a clarifying question. And I want to also just express my gratitude to the unions for kind of taking a back seat so that we could move forward and not penalize the county and lose the majority of these federal funds in order to maintain this. But then Commissioner Quesada, you said something that I want clarification on. You said that the unions, and I guess you've spoken to them because they haven't reached out to me, but they said that they understand that there's no more backing out of this, or something to that effect. But I would hope that if it's another unforeseen instance like this was, where we would have been penalized, that there would be ongoing understanding, or is that not the case?
So from my understanding, Commissioner Benson, is that we have to get this approved. The whole workforce agreement has to be approved through the federal mechanism. And once that's been approved, then any projects moving forward that have federal funds attached to it and federal funding, that we will have all the workings in place from here on out. The problem is we can't get that going in time now in order to get the money to do the project that we're working on right now. And the unions understand that, and they know that the project's important. And so what I meant by that statement was, in the future, that we will have those ducks in a row, for lack of a better word. We'll have all those ducks in a row with the federal government as we move forward with the workforce agreement. But right now, we don't have that yet. As Commissioner O'Malley stated, we're one of the few probably in the country, and probably the only in the state of New Mexico. So we have to make sure that, all that falls into place, so we don't lose, the funding on this particular project, but that it'll be in place for further federally funded projects. If I'm correct, Elias could correct me.
Madam Chair, Commissioners Quesada and Benson, Commissioner Quesada is correct. So basically, once we get this approved, it will be approved for use on any federal aid project. And so that's the reason we're going through this mechanism. The ordinance, as it was written, requires Public Works, or it may also fall under Planning and Development Services if Parks and Rec is doing a job that meets the requirements. We do come to the board for each project to recommend use on it. So, for every project, it's not defaulted that it will or will not be used. For each project, we will come before the BCC to present a similar item such as this. You know, based on the recommendations, based on the conditions, we recommend use of the CWA, or if there's an extenuating circumstance, we will explain what that circumstance is and request, like in this case, that you waive the use of the CWA.
Thank you, Mr. Archuleta. Thank you, Commissioner Quezada. Appreciate it.
Okay. If there's no other questions, is there a motion to approve this item? Commissioner Quesada moves to approve. Is there a second? Commissioner Benson, all in favor? Wave your hand. Thank you. Madam Clerk, for the last time this evening, please call the roll.
Commissioner Barboa,
Aye.
Commissioner Benson,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Malley,
Aye.
Vice Chair Casada,
Aye.
Madam Chair Piscotti.
Aye. So thank you.
passed.
That passes unanimously. Are there any items for discussion at this point? Seeing none, I will announce the next commission meetings. Tuesday, April 20th, 2021. We'll start your evening off at 4 p.m. via Zoom with the UNMH special budget work session, and then move into the administrative meeting at 5 p.m. Mark your calendars for Tuesday, April 20th, 2021. A signing of official documents will happen behind the scenes. And if there's no other business, this meeting is adjourned. Namaste. Have a good night. It's still light out.